There are two special methods you can add to a property: get and set. It's fairly rare to want to do this, but it's important that you understand the technique. To begin, open the Shining Stone sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open the code behind file of buy.aspx. In Lesson 6.1, you discovered that your code behind file is actually a class. You can add properties to your code behind files, just as you would add a property to any other class. To do this, add the following code outside any event handlers. Private bool accepted terms. This creates a normal bool property that can be accessed only within the code behind file, since it is private. There's very rarely any reason to make properties in a code behind file public. We are now going to add a get method to the property. By adding a get method, you can change what is returned when any code requests the value of the property. Change the property code to the following: private bool accepted terms, begin curly brackets, get, begin curly brackets, return true, end curly brackets, end curly brackets. Note that there is no longer a semicolon after accepted terms. This very simple get method will always return true whenever anything asks for the value of the accepted terms property. The accepted terms property is now also read-only. If you tried to change the value of accepted terms, you would see an error. Now change the return true line to return checkbox accept terms dot checked. Now the accepted terms property will always have the same value as the checked property of the checkbox accept terms control. Next, we're going to add a set method to the property. At the moment, the accepted terms property will retrieve the value of checkbox accept terms.checked, but the property is read-only, so you can't set its value. Add the following code after the end of the get method. Set, begin curly brackets, checkbox accept terms.checked equals value, end curly brackets. Value acts as a placeholder for any value that is assigned to the property. This code will set the checkbox accept terms.checked property to the value that is provided if you change the value of the accepted terms property. To test this, add the following code to the page load event handler. Accepted terms equals true. Since assigning a value uses the set method, the checkbox accept terms control should be checked when the page loads. View the page in your browser now. As you can see, the checkbox is checked. The set method successfully passed the assigned value to the control's checked property. Close your web browser now. Get and set can be used to add logic to any property when its value is set or retrieved. Everything you can achieve with get and set can be done using other techniques that you've already learned. For this reason, most developers rarely make use of get and set. Get and set are particularly useful, however, when you want to store a value in view state. You learned about setting view state values in Lesson 3.9. By setting a view state value in the set method and retrieving it using a get method, you can make view state values easier to work with. Close Visual Studio now. You've now completed Lesson 7.5. Use get and set.